When I was a kid and teen being tortured by the cult, I thought that every adult was cult, or that they would abuse or rape me, and that was because that was mostly my experience, and it was what the cult wanted me to think. They would say over and over that they were all powerful, that they were all seeing, all hearing, and that they were everywhere. And they would scare me in that, and they would do abuse scenarios to make me believe that, like to tell me back things that I had said that I thought nobody else could hear. They also had cult members, so there were a lot of cult members on the street that I grew up in, and an adjoining street. There were a lot of cult members in the church. There was at least one in every school that I went to report back to me. And in the very few extracurricular activities that my parents allowed me to be in, like Girl Guides and CGIT, there was a cult member watching, reporting, making sure that everything was told back to my parents and to the cult. And every place that they took us to, when there was an adult and they would connect up, they were cults. They're like my parents' friends were cult. And also, if it wasn't a cult member who was taking part in the torture, it was someone that they were renting me out to, like trafficking me to. So I thought most adults, or every adult, was cult. But I had an inkling that maybe some people were safe, in part because of my gut, because some people felt kind and compassionate, and yet, see, I could be tricked, or worried that I could be tricked, because the other mother would act kind and compassionate and loving, and then turn around and rape me, tell me she hated me, torture me more, pretend to rescue me, and then torture me more or hand me to the cult again. The other mother is, in the cult, they have the other mother and the other father, a cult member that they make the child bond with, pretend to have safety with, and then torture and rape more. So I wasn't sure that I could trust my gut, because over and over and over, there were people that I thought, oh, I can trust this person. And then they ended up being someone that the cult had intentionally pretended to rescue me and save me in the cult and then torture me more. But books and movies gave me the idea that maybe there's hope. Maybe there are people who are kind and compassionate and loving, and this is not what they do. But I hadn't experienced that yet. I hadn't experienced safety. But I'm glad that I held on to the hope in my heart and was able to find good and safe people over time, and over time was able to escape, even though I ran away so many times and the cult would find me and bring me back. I'm so grateful that I could hold on to hope, even though the cult was trying to destroy that every day and every night. And I'm glad I learned that not everyone was compassionless, not everyone had a hard heart, not everyone wanted to abuse and torture and rape and murder and get off on it, that there were people who were kind and compassionate and loving, and there still are in the world.